السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم آمين. We are continuing our series about the 40 Hadith of Ramadan that pertain to Ramadan specifically. And today's Hadith is one that is not spoken about often. It's a very simple, yet very meaningful and powerful Hadith. And it's two words. Sumu. Anyone know it? Anyone know it? Tasihhu. Sumu tasihhu. That's it, right? The hadith translates directly to fast and you will be healthy. Up until now, we have been covering about the acts of Ramadan and its spiritual aspects, right? We've been talking a lot about how it impacts you spiritually and how it gets you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and why Ramadan itself is so special and why the act of Siyam is so special in a spiritual sense. However, we have not talked a lot about, in general, worships have, as they say, several purposes. There is a main purpose and there is the wings, the extension of it, right? The branches that are also good things. And fasting is the exact same thing. If you go ask anyone, why do we fast? I promise you that you'll get a different answer from everyone. إذا بتسأل حدا ليش بنصوم، كل حدا يحكي لك شيء غير. This is the truth, right? And most of the time, no one is wrong. They're all correct. All of the answers, they're correct answers, There isn't really such thing as a wrong answer. However, there is a main reason, and we talked about this a lot already. What is the main reason why we fast? شو السبب للصيام? The main reason. لعلكم تتقون, right? Which means so you can gain God consciousness and fear in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we talked about this extensively, so we're not going to talk about it again today. But this is the main reason. Just to be clear, that's the first thing, right? But there are many other benefits to Siyam. There are moral benefits, there are psychological benefits, there are health benefits, physical, right? And these are all things that Islamically Allah holds true to us, and our Messenger talked about it, right? Our Messenger has spoken to us about such a thing. Now, one thing that we need to be clear about before we dive deep into this hadith itself, these two words, we need to know something. This hadith is known as a hadith da'if, meaning it's a weak hadith, right? It's not strong in its narration. طيب. So then you're probably wondering, why are we talking about it then? Do you think, Anjad, that just because a hadith is da'if, we can't talk about it? Right? Do you think that? Wallahi, there are many ahadith that are da'if, but their meaning does not change. The meaning is so important and still applies to our daily lives. So although we cannot say that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ himself said these words, meaning this, it was said from one of the Sahabi at some point, but we cannot say that he said it himself because it's da'if. Lakin the meaning is still true, and there are many other ahadith that are sahih and strong that back up the words of this hadith. Right? And that's something that we have to understand, that a lot of people have a misconception about learning of weak hadith, right? Hadith has two main components. The first component of a hadith is what we call al-matn, which is the content. What is the hadith trying to teach you? What is the hadith's goal? What's the purpose? What are the words that are in the hadith, right? And then there is the sanad, which is the chain. When you think of a chain, you think of one link after the other connecting to each other, right? And if one of those links is broken, then it falls apart. This is exactly what the sanad means for a hadith, right? There has to be a link that traces back to Prophet ﷺ of several credible, strong narrators of the hadith. And if there's any weak link within that, then it's known as a weak hadith, right? And that is the case for this hadith. So, the first part about this hadith that we need to understand, Siyam actually has many health benefits, right? It has many health benefits. And there's another hadith that backs this up. And the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, clearly he said, a human being fills no worse vessel than his stomach. right? It is sufficient for him just to eat a few mouthfuls and they'll be done, right? His stomach will be satisfied. But if he must eat more, 1/3 of your stomach should be given to food, 1/3 should be given to drink, to something that you drink, and then the other third for yourself or for your heir, right? How many of you heard this hadith before? Raise your hand. Who heard this hadith before? Who heard the narration, eat until you're satisfied and not till you're full? Maybe that one you guys have heard more, right? يعني جماعة نحن nowadays نحن على الإفطار ما بنرحم يعني حالنا بنضلنا ناكل we eat until we can't breathe anymore. Then you come to Taraweeh and Allah بيعلم شو you know the masjid is right? This is the reality of يعني what we do nowadays. Unfortunately, this is against the sunnah. You know, this is against the sunnah. In fact, ask yourself, when you overeat, because we've all done it before, how do you feel? Do you feel more energized or do you feel more tired and weak and like you want to go to sleep? وطب الأكل is supposed to do the opposite. ما طول اليوم صايم مش ماكل ولا شارب شيء ما أنت you're weak. هلا تروح تاكل you seem more weak. مصيبة يا جماعة. تاكل then you get more tired, right? The purpose is for you to eat enough to make you satisfied and give you more energy. تيجي على الصلاة منعنش, right? And you come energized. الشيخ جعفر he doesn't even really iftar. He eats some tamar and water and maybe some soup. ولا شيخ? Correct? This is the case. And now that's why, mashallah, he could read 15 pages in Taraweeh. نحن بنتعب بس هو ما بيتعب, mashallah, right? This is the case. Wallahi, this is the case. You know, and it's on purpose because it really makes your body feel better, right? It makes your body feel much better. So we need to understand as well that our stomach, in another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, the source of most of the viruses and the diseases come from where? From your stomach. مو كل شيء بتاكلها إلا راح تروح في جسمك. You eat, anything you eat, it's going to get distributed throughout your body, jama'ah. You eat it, it breaks it down, then it puts it into your blood, right? Siyam is meant to protect you against this. And there's many things that are proven in statistics from science that fasting protects you from many things like cholesterol and heart problems because you're abstaining from eating until what? Until only one meal in the day, right? And it allows your body a chance to cleanse itself. In fact, your stomach cannot properly cleanse itself of any diseases unless you give it a break. It's the one organ that doesn't take a break, jama'ah. It just keeps working. It doesn't take a break, right? So when you fast, subhanAllah, in the wisdom of Allah and Allah, His blessings, Siyam also itself has a profound impact on your body that we need to mention and understand, right? It cleanses your body of any and all diseases that occur. There are many psychological benefits of Siyam. But the main one that we should also understand about it is sabr, patience, and self-restraint, right? You know, there's another hadith that we talked about, and it says that whoever can get married, you should get married, right? But if you can't get married, fast. Or if you're struggling to get married, or whatever the case is, fast. Why? Because indeed, fasting protects you against that. What does Allah mean? It teaches you two things. It teaches you to be patient. Just like you're patient with eating food and drinking and whatnot, when you're fasting, you can be patient with what? Waiting until, inshallah, you're blessed with marriage, right? And the second thing about it is simple. It protects you physically from doing any haram. The fasting suppresses your desires. And it teaches you to have control of your desires. So there are many psychological benefits with Siyam. Going away from this point though, there is a hadith that says, الصوم جنة ما لم يخرقها, right? It is narrated that the fasting is a shield for those who protect that shield unless you damage it, right? You can damage that shield. But if you do it properly and you fast properly with the right intention, it will protect you. There is no act of worship that I have seen our beloved Messenger ﷺ do more, of course, other than, Salah and Qiyam al-Layl, right? Then I've seen him fast, and we've heard about him fasting. He would fast every Monday and Thursday. He would fast the white days, the 3 days in the middle of the lunar calendar, right? He'd fast Shawwal, and he would fast more than you can even imagine. While we might think of Siyam as something that is like, ta'ab, especially out of Ramadan, he saw it as something that made him more strong. It gave him strength. It gave him strength. How often do we fast Mondays and Thursdays outside of Ramadan? How often do we fast once a month outside Ramadan? Just once a month. We can't even get ourselves to do that. But fasting is supposed to give you strength. And just to leave you with something that should stay in